Okay, so in this video, we're gonna put together our really cute Halloween cupcake box. And this would be a great little box to put a cupcake in for a child, maybe as a teacher's gift, or even a friend, or maybe even like the best dressed trick-or-treater on Halloween night. So I have my pieces here in front of me. I've actually gone in and done a little inking just on the edges of everything here. And one thing that I did was I took this one has a little L on it. This is a liner piece that goes inside that no one's really gonna see because it's gonna be covered up by this piece here. And I used this to test my inking to see which tone looked best. I tried like 3 different inks, and this orange ink that I have by Colorbox worked out really well. So I used that on the rest of the main structural pieces here. So first thing we're gonna do some pre-prep here just to get everything in place while this thing is flat, and then we can go ahead and put together the actual structure itself. So I have everything here in front of me. What we're gonna do is we're gonna begin by simply putting our little panels on. There are a total of 4 panels. 3 of them are pretty much identical. You want the little cutout section to be going up like that. Okay, so we can just go ahead and get started here and putting glue on the back of this panel. We've got this really cool spider web pattern paper. I'll have to get the link to the name of this if you decide that you want to make it just as we did. So you want to go ahead and place that right on there. Make sure you get it nice and centered. Should have a nice even border going all the way around. Okay. There we go. Get that right on there. And we'll just kind of move on over to the next piece here. So this would be really cool too. Like at my Halloween parties, we do costume contests, and I kind of go all out, and I have a trophy and everything. But if you don't want to do a trophy or something, you can make like a cool little cupcake or something to give the winner. Or, I mean, these are actually, you know, aside from the cutting aspect of it, which may take a little bit of time, but it's not too bad. You can obviously do other things while these are cutting, especially if you have a Cricut. You can get everything lined up and, you know, select your quantities and just come into the room and feed the mat every so often. You don't have to sit there and watch it. You know, once you got everything cut out, stuff goes together pretty quickly, and I'll show you just how that works. So it wouldn't be hard to, I guess depending on classroom size, to make these for all the kids in the classroom. I don't think that would be that difficult. Or like I said, you can always just make one for a teacher, and I think that would be just fine as well. So we got those 3 panels on. We're gonna get this panel on here, and this panel is gonna go right on here. And you wanna make sure that you have a nice even little border around the little skull and all that good stuff there. Try to keep it nice and aligned so that you have a nice symmetry all the way around. So I'm just putting glue on the back of this panel. Okay, just like that. And I'm trying to grab it from one of the thicker sides here. And oops, just get that placed so that we've got a nice even border all the way around. Okay, that looks good. There we go. Okay, there are 2 little overlay pieces that go over here, and I've got my little pick-me-up tool. As you can see, they kind of go like that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to grab my little piece there, and I'm going to squeeze out a little tiny bit of glue and then just get the tip of that. Just dot that. Just get little tiny dots on there. You don't need too much. Try to get it out to the edges too, and then if you feel like you have a little too much, just flatten it out a little bit, just by pressing it. Okay, and on this piece here, there are some little indicators and some guides to help you with the placement so that you can get this nice and symmetrical. Okay, and just kind of scoot that into place. There we go, just like that. Grab my other one, get a little bit of glue on there. Just tiny little dots. Okay. And get that nice and aligned. Okay, so there's that piece there. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over. We do have this little black piece here, okay, and that is the backing for the skull. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put glue just around the skull here, okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop this piece right on there. It's gonna be flush, okay. It's okay if you don't get it perfect, as long as the little skull is black there, you know you've got it right. And then also, we cut a little piece of acetate, okay, and we're gonna glue that right into place right there. And I'm gonna scoot it over as far this way as I can so that there's more paper area here for the tab once we get the tab glued down. So go ahead and get a nice line of glue on the paper there and put your acetate down. Like I said, kind of scooch it over to this side as far as you can go and just press down. Make sure that you get enough surface area there to where this thing will hold nicely. Okay, and then you've got a clear little window there. You can kind of see if I can get some glare, catch some glare somewhere. There, you can see a little bit of glare there. There you go. Okay, so that's that. We can flip this back over now and work on our little bats here. We've got two bats, okay, and we've got this little red piece of glitter here. We're gonna put that just on the face part of our bat. So let me clean off this tip here. It's getting kind of caked with crusty old glue. Let's go ahead and just put little dots right where his eyelashes would be, if he had eyelashes. Maybe bats do have eyelashes. So just a little bit of glue there. I'm gonna flip this over and just make sure that you cover the eyes and the mouth. Okay, so it should look like that. And I had a little extra glue come out of there. I'm gonna grab my razor blade and just kind of scoop some of that out. It is gonna dry clear, but sometimes it doesn't look the best, but that'll be fine once it completely dries. And we'll repeat that on the other side here. So I'm gonna try to get less glue on here this time. So I obviously had a little too much that time. There we go. And just pop that right over his mouth and his eyes. Doesn't have to be perfect, as long as you get it in the ballpark. Okay, just like that. And then we have these two little turquoise pieces here. Okay, and we're gonna glue these right on here. The bottom of the bat should be flush with the bottom here, and then you've got a nice little border going around the rest of this guy. Okay, so I am just gonna be real subtle with the glue here. I don't want any of it squirting out. I'm just kind of dotting it, going with little dots around the perimeter here. Okay, and then get some on the inside, just to make sure that doesn't pull away. Okay, grab this piece here, and again, align it with the bottom, and then also just make sure that you've got a nice even border all the way around the rest of it. There we go. And just push that down, just like that. And the next part here, same thing, just little dots. I love crafting for Halloween. I asked a friend the other day if she thought September was too soon to start decorating for Halloween, and of course she said yes, but I guess September 20-something isn't, or too early, I mean. I don't think it's too early. All right, so there's that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue that right here, and they're gonna glue the other one right up there. And that's just gonna be a cute little top there to finish off this cute little box for our cupcake. Okay, so just glue that right on top there. Grab our other one. And so this is a pretty special little box. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you don't want to mass produce these. Maybe you just want to make a couple and give them to the people that are really close to you, or the people that really, really appreciate Halloween and love it like I do. Okay, so there we go. Pre-prep is pretty much done. We've got this little piece here. Okay, it comes like this. You're gonna fold this up, you're gonna fold these down, and then we have two little triangular tabs that we're gonna glue into place. And this is gonna kind of hold our cupcake in place once we have it in there so it doesn't go sliding around. So I'm putting glue on that little triangular tab, and I'm gluing it to the inside of this part here. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna go ahead and put glue right on that tab. Let me spread that out a little bit. I kind of maybe got too much on there. And tuck that in, glue it down, hold it nice and tight for just a few seconds while it sets. Okay, we're gonna put that in after the box is completely assembled. It's gonna go in like this. Okay, so at this point, we can go ahead and put our box together. Okay, and what you want to do is, you can actually do this flat until we put the bottom on. So we've got this part ready here. We're going to go ahead and put glue on this tab. Make sure you get a nice amount of glue on the inside, and then do a little line right towards the edge. And then I always like to kind of spread that out and thin it out. Okay, and I am going to work with this flat because I can. Okay, and I actually, I'm gonna move that a little bit. There we go. Okay, and just make sure that the bottom's nice and aligned. Get that right up to that score mark. You don't want to go over it. You want to be right up to it. Let it hold, and then flip it over on itself. And make sure that everything here is nice and flush. Okay, it's gonna tell you that once those are flush, you know that you've got this aligned properly and the angle's good and everything's great, okay? So that tab is in place. We can go ahead and fold this tab over now. And let's get some glue on this tab. And again, get a nice line right up to the edge. I'm gonna smear that out right up to the edge. And then you can kind of fold this over, grab this, just fold it in half, and press it down. And again, make sure that these tabs here are nice and flush, because again, that's going to tell you that, well, you've got it perfectly aligned. Okay, so that's that. All right, now we can open this up, and we've got our little box now. And don't worry about the top right now. Since this is the front, and that's the part that everyone's going to be looking at for the most part, we want to start putting the bottom on at the front, because I always feel like that is always the most accurate. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue on this tab here, and then get a nice line right up to the edge. Fold this down so as you're spreading it, it doesn't kind of cross over into this dimension here. Okay, there we go. And you can actually lay this flat. It's probably easier to work with it flat for now. Here's the bottom. The bottom one does not have the letter L on it. So this is the one without the L. Get that nice and aligned and centered. Make sure you're just slightly below the little score mark. Check your alignment here, check your alignment here. Make sure you've got it nice and horizontally aligned as well. Run your finger across there. You can flip it over then and push from the inside too. Get that in place. Okay, that looks good. There we go. Okay, and then to close this up, we're just going to go ahead and put glue on the remaining 3 tabs. Oh boy, let me get that out of there. Just a nice little line in the center, and then one right up to the edge. You gotta work kind of quick so it doesn't dry completely on you. Get right up to the edge. Okay, and then actually I can do that because this is not on the ground, or on the table I should say. Just like that. And I am going to go ahead and spread that out to the edge. I might need to go in and clean that up with my little razor technique. Okay, now as you're closing this, flare these out a little bit. So as you're closing this, grabs more surface area, and then just go ahead and push down, making sure that you've got this nice and perfectly aligned. Okay, just run your finger along the edge, apply a medium pressure. You can flip this down now, or flip it right side up, I should say. You can push down from the inside to make sure that really gets a good hold. Okay, and then we're going to check our work here in a second. And if we've got any little areas that don't look perfect, we can clean them up, but actually I did a pretty good job there. Okay, so you can go ahead and open this up now. And this is where this little piece goes in. Okay, it's going to be a little bit of a tight fit, but that's how we want it. Okay, so that just slides in like that. Okay, and then what you want to do, you just put a little bit of glue right here at the top, just so this doesn't flare open. You don't need a lot. Okay, and just make sure that's all the way down, and then just push it up against the back there. You can put this flat on your table and push down like that. Okay, and you know what I forgot to do actually, and this is real life here, the liner. Before you put that in, and actually, you know what? I could probably still stick it in there. Just glue that in there, or stick it in there. I don't even think you need to glue it. There we go. Okay, so the way this works is you fold this over. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. You fold these in. This is a little handle, I guess. Okay, and then you fold this over. And then you fold this over. And these guys go into the little slots here. And there is, oops. Okay, so the front of this isn't down enough and it's kind of obstructing my RIP, so I'm gonna open that up real quick and push it down far enough. There we go. Okay, so you might actually want to take just a little bit of glue and just put a tiny little bit of glue just below that RIP. Okay, just below that RIP, so when you pop this in and smush it all the way down, it sticks and doesn't move. Okay, so again, put these in first, put this one over, put these two over, and pop that in, and pop that in. And your box is complete. Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.